Hey, James, congratulations. How
Appreciate it.
difficult was this decision, and when did you kind of finally make up your mind?
Um, well, since we've been back, I just been thinking about it and talking about it with the coaches and the people in my circle, and we just felt that this was the best decision in terms of me and for me and my aspirations, my future aspirations.
Tom?
Yeah, Book, why did you give any thought to maybe taking more of a wait and see thing and getting feedback and working out, because you didn't have to make the decision right away to hire an agent? Why did you decide to jump right in with today and go all in?
Well, I got good feedback from someone. Someone gave me good feedback, and me and my people talked, and we just felt like this was the best decision for me, and this was the time to make it.
Wayne?
Hey, Book. How did you improve the most in your days at UConn? And how do you have to improve? What area do you have to improve the most in to take that next step?
I think my game improved like all around while my time at UConn. I think both mentally and just like my skill as a player has developed under Hurley and the rest of the staff. But I just feel like moving forward, I just need to just slow down, like be more mentally tough, definitely get stronger, become a better ball handler, just keep doing the little things and keep staying in the gym to get better.
Dave?
Hey, James, congratulations. What kind of NBA player do you sort of envision yourself being in terms of position-wise? And even if you could like compare yourself maybe to guys who are in the league now, do you have a comp like that, or do you just want to be yourself, basically?
I just want to be myself, man. Just do the things I'm good at. Score the ball, rebound the ball, and just go to a program where I can play right away and help an organization win some games.
Anybody else, guys? Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah, James, did you ever really fully recover, or have you fully recovered yet from the elbow injury, or did that continue to bother you even as you came back, and did it maybe affect your shot or your handle a little bit?
I mean, I felt like I fully recovered. I'm not going to use my elbow and the injury, the surgery, as an excuse of my poor play at the end of the season. But I feel good right now. I feel 100%, and I'm just in the gym getting better.
Charlotte?
Hi, James. When you look back at your time at UConn, what has been, I guess, your favorite moment, kind of favorite memory that you're going to think about when you look back in however many years?
I don't think I have a favorite moment. Just being here around my teammates, just like bonding with them and growing a relationship that'll last a lifetime with those guys. That's been the best part of being here.
To follow up on that, how tough is it to leave your Connecticut teammates when you're making this decision?
Oh, it's definitely tough. Even when I was coming from high school, leaving my high school teammates was tough. Just like feeling like you're leaving everything behind to go start over something new is always tough. Yeah, definitely.
John, Fanta?
Hey, James, to that point, when you think about what's ahead for UConn basketball, I know you'll continue to follow the program. What kind of a direction do you think this year can serve and just the years ahead, the direction of the program right now?
Oh, well, this year we set the standard. Moving forward, that making the tournament is just what you have to do now. Like this is it. Like playing one game in a tournament is not that's not the standard. We want to set the bar higher than that. So people, recruits that come here, the staff, players coming back next year, that everyone knows that it's like we gotta make the tournament. We gotta keep moving forward and make runs.
Neil?
Look, I know you said you got good feedback. Do you have an idea where you might go, or was there a number where if somebody says, well, you might go top 20 or you might go top 10, that you have to go?
Oh no, I don't know like an exact number for you. I don't have one.
Dave?
Hey, James, what will it mean to you, like, just in terms of the legacy you left for the program? You know, if you are a lottery pick, you know, you get the sort of the big banner in the practice facility, or even just a first rounder, you know, you still get your picture, and people will look at that for years to come and probably help out the school in recruiting. How do you look at that in terms of your legacy at UConn?
Oh man, that means a lot to be like one of those names up there with some of the greater players that played here. Oh, that means everything to me. That it's really like this whole thing is just like so surreal right now. Like just 2 years ago, I was a high school kid, man. Like everything's just been so surreal. So that just adds to it, being able to be talked about with those big names.
Ken Davis?
James, this decision seemed clearly on your mind even before the season started. Did you ever have any doubts about it during your injury or at the end of the season when you didn't play the way you really wanted to? Did anything ever cross your mind that you needed to come back?
Yeah, I definitely felt after we lost, I wanted to come back like that. Like that's just how I felt, out of anger or sadness or whatever it was. That's just what I felt in my heart. But I talked to my parents about it, and I talked to the people in my circle, and we felt this was the best decision. So.
Dan Barletta?
Yeah, James, you've been instrumental in sort of bringing back UConn basketball back where it belongs, and for that reason, you're always going to be, I think, special in the hearts of UConn fans. What does that mean to you?
It means everything, man. Like just being like, I don't even really know what to say. Like just like, to have people think of you that way, it means so much. Like I feel for that. Like people who support me and actually care about me and my journey. That means a lot to me, for sure.
Gavin? James, what do you think are some of your biggest challenges moving forward now?
Definitely like everything off the court, my maturity and just being able to make grown man decisions. That's definitely like something I need to work on and continue to improve on, just continue to mature.
Mike Mavrodakis?
Hey, James. Can you just kind of go into what your relationship with the coaches like Kamani and Hurley have been in your time here, and how do you think that's going to change or progress going forward now that you're leaving?
Oh, well, me and like everyone on the staff have like such a close bond. Even me and Coach K Free. Hurley has been like a father figure for me away from home, man. He's like he gave me a second chance. He's coached me to an extent like no other coach has coached me. I learned so much from him, and he's taught me so much in my time here. It's just, man, it's like thank you isn't even enough to say. And Coach Kamani, he just believed in me from day one. Like on my worst days, he's there for me. On my best days, he's happy with me, man. It's just like leaving them is it definitely hurts, but they know it's for the better, and they're gonna be with me no matter what, and I know that.
John Fanta?
James, how much have you been thinking about the fact that dream, that idea of walking the stage at the NBA draft? Knock on wood, hope it's in person and normal. Just every kid's dream is that. How much have you given thought to that moment?
I've been thinking about it for the longest, like ever since I started playing basketball. So for it to actually be like almost a reality is crazy to me. Like this morning when I was sitting with the coaches and I was posting the post on my Instagram and my Twitter, and my hand started shaking and I couldn't control it, and it was just like I never felt that way before.
Tom?
Just what are your immediate plans over the next 4 months? It's 4 months until the draft. What do you have kind of a game plan, a timeline for for what you're going to be doing between now and July?
Yeah, I'm gonna first I'm gonna do meetings and choose an agent, and then I'm gonna find a place to do my pre-draft workouts. And yeah, pre-draft workout.
Wayne?
Look, what are your academic plans? Will you finish out the spring semester in good academic standing?
Yes, sure. Definitely.
Anybody else, guys? Any other questions? No? Once, twice? Okay, James, thanks for your time. Oh, Gavin, quickly, hurry up. You're muted, Gavin. You're muted.
How did you tell your teammates? How'd that kind of happen?
I feel like my teammates knew. Like my teammates already knew, because when I was with Isaiah when I posted it, and I was talking to RJ and Jalen about it yesterday. My teammates they're just happy for me. Like they support me and the decisions I choose to make. So everyone's just happy. Yes.
Hi, Dan. What was the process like getting, with James going through trying to decide whether he would go or not, and how'd that discussion go?
Gavin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I think obviously it's we're in a different a different era in terms of information. I think I think at the end of last year, we had a pretty good, understanding of the range, where James, could potentially, land if he entered last year. So obviously, throughout the course of the season, you as coaches, and as players, it's right in front of you. There's mock NBA drafts. There's top 100 lists. There's the information's right at your fingertips. So obviously you checked in with people whose opinion matters at the NBA level about where he could land, and it's just it's a no-brainer for James. It's an easy decision.
Tom?
And Dan, as a coach who's been around the game a long time, that maybe, as you mentioned, it's a different world today, but back in the day, you might have been able to talk a player back into coming back because he would be better prepared for the NBA when he went. And yet, today that, you don't know what a year is going to mean for the draft, who will be in it next year. He'd be a year older, et cetera. So what kind of advice did you give James with all of that? What did you tell him in terms of what he should do, and how difficult was you to maybe tell him whatever it is you did tell him?
Yeah, you know what? Number one, that era of college basketball is obviously that's really, really long gone. And it won't be coming back. And for me, in good conscience, just knowing James's talent level, and what he's potentially could accomplish at the NBA level. There wasn't an ounce of me that wanted to, selfishly try to talk a kid out of out of changing his life and the life of his family for the better. And relative to James, I mean, it's always, it's his talent is unquestionable. His athletic talents and his gifts and his confidence and his makeup. And, he's probably spent more time around the offices, the last week to 10 days, knowing, that he was probably heading to the NBA that he probably did, prior to, he's a good listener, and, he wants, he's the type of guy that is going to keep pushing for more in his career. So, continuing to mature and keep becoming more professional and his personal habits and just trying to prepare him for the business of basketball at the NBA level. What's coming in workouts, pre-draft and just with the time that we have before, he heads off campus and starts preparing for the workouts. Just trying to continue to develop him the way we have since he stepped foot on campus.
John Fanta?
Dan, James just said that you've been like a father figure to him in his time away from home, and he said that you gave him a second chance. Can you speak to that a little bit and what the bond that you have with him means to you?
Yeah, I mean, today's incredible day. Such a joyous day. Just waking up this morning and knowing how important of a moment it is for James and his family, and in our program, and the job that the staff has done in developing him and the work he's put in, and what his current and former teammates have done to put him in position to display his talents. It's just been today's like a joyous day. Tomorrow, we'll talk about as a staff and as coaches, like, how we're going to fill the void of such a talented player leaving. But today is like it's pure joy when you feel like you've contributed, in some way to the development of a young person like James, and how their time with you has improved the prospects of their life and the trajectory of his family. I mean, it's an amazing, amazing thing to be a part of. And you probably, John, feel that even more so on draft night, once he is selected. But, to be part of his development process and where his life's heading, it's what coaching's all about.
How should his time be remembered in Stores?
I mean, he should be remembered, as I think, a great Husky. If he comes in at a different time period, where this program was maybe further along, or if he was in an era where he played a year longer, who knows where he could have took this program. But, to go from where it was when he stepped on campus, where we were not even at the point of getting a sniff of the NIT and struggling to have a winning record and, in our conference, to, competing at the top of the league and getting back to the tournament, his impact's immeasurable. It's, it impacts recruiting. It impacted, our brand being restored. It gave us, a college basketball player again at UConn that everyone that follows the sport knew. So, James got here and things weren't looking great, and he changed everything.
Ken Davis.
Dan, I understand everything you're saying about no-brainer and all that, but during his injury, did you think that could possibly be a setback to his plans at this point? And do you have any thoughts in your mind at all about how he might have benefited from an extra year in college?
Yeah, no, I don't think that the injury had any impact. It might have had. I think it probably had an impact on how he closed the end of the year. That disruption, and then trying to get that rhythm back. Probably impacted the end of year performance. And Obviously, James got tremendous talent. You just want him to get drafted into, into a great organization with a strong culture, because I think, James, James could, I hold James's talent in high regard. He could, he could be, he's got a chance to be a great, great NBA player, especially the way the game is played, nowadays. So, he's going to do great things, amazing things.
Dan Barletta?
Yeah, Coach. So James is obviously, like you said, a tremendous talent, but like any player coming out of college, he's still, pretty raw. Where do you think he needs to make the most improvements in order to be an impact player at the NBA level?
Yeah, I think it's across the board. I mean, he's got to, continue to develop, his efficiency as a shooter and his consistency and range, and his decision and playmaking and at the defensive end. But this is, I think, the NBA draft is about, drafting and identifying, young players that have tremendous upside and talent, and that are young enough, where maybe they're just scratching the surface. So, I think pretty much any prospect, with the exception of maybe a couple, are going to have areas, where they need to develop. It's the nature of the NBA and the way that these drafts, are going. I'll put his physical gifts, and his ability to score at all three levels, and the fact that I think he is only scratching the surface. I don't think there's a lot. I don't think there's many more, if any, more, talented, scoring, athletic, combo type of guards that are entering this draft.
Dave?
Yeah. What are you hearing from NBA people, and what's your own opinion in terms of, James as an NBA player down the road positionally, and even I don't know if you want to compare him to the type of player he can be in terms of what other guys in the league right now. What do you see for him, and what are you hearing from the NBA of what they might expect from him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the NBA teams love him as a guard, I think he's got obviously a great chance to to go to be a lottery pick here, and I think the kind of the mindset with James is he fits perfectly into the type of guards today's game. Obviously being able to score at all three levels. He's improved a lot as a ball handler. He's got to continue to obviously get better defensively, but James didn't go looking. Unfortunately, like a lot of guys now today in college basketball or even grassroots, that they're seeking out the NBA. The NBA came for James. He just obviously the talent and and the way that the guy has produced through, I guess, 40 something games. The guy barely played. He played like a freshman year and a quarter or something.
Gavin?
Dan, you hear high school kids say they pick such and such program based on they could help me get to the NBA. Having a guy like James who, could possibly be a lottery pick, how can that help you in recruiting?
Well, it's, it already has, Gavin, and it will, continue to for us. I mean, what James did as a freshman made us, more appealing to, Jordan Hawkins. And, and when Andre Jackson came on the visit, having watching James and envisioning himself being able to do some of those types of things. Russell Diggins, like it's already had an impact what James did his freshman year. And I think the fact that obviously James. James wasn't a McDonald's All-American. James didn't come in here, where the recruiting services, designated him as a one and done or an early entry player. So obviously James has got tremendous talent and passion for the game, and we did obviously we did a really good job with the player development piece for him. And, in our game today, in recruiting, that matters.
Thanks.
You got it.
Dave?
I think James seemed a little emotional when he was talking to us before. He said he was kind of emotional when he was sort of typing out his message earlier. Did you sense that this was a difficult decision for him over the last week or so, or if only not because it was a wrong decision, but just because he seemed to really enjoy being at UConn?
Yeah, I mean, the thing, Dave, James, he wasn't like, if he was, like the NBA came for James. And I think it's a great lesson for players, like across the board. Try to get as good as you can get, stay focused on just playing and getting better. And the NBA will come for you when it's time. And, James did that, at the end of last year. Again, he could have turned, that into a circus, or, entered the draft, not hired an agent, and, turn that into, a circus type of deal. But, he handled everything the right way. And, we're around our players all the time. Our culture is we're a close-knit, deeply connected group. But just, you knew, part of James, probably wishes he could run it back. He knew he had to go. It was the only decision that he could make here. But I know he's going to miss this place. I know he wanted a chance to play in front of the fans again and to try to make a deep run in March. I know that was something that he wanted to do. Like he's been just lingering around the office for the last week or 10 days. I don't know if he was looking for somebody to try to talk him out of it. None of us would have tried to do that. But, you could tell that he's going to miss this place because he's kind of just been lingering, for the last week or 10 days around like a guy who he's going on to something big. But, man, he's going to miss his time here because it's, it's been a blast and it means something to him. Him coming here, with the idea of, we were going to put him in the first round and he was going to help us rebuild this brand. We both did what we said we would do for each other.
Any other questions, guys? I don't see any hands up. Oh, Dom, take us home.
Again, this is because no one has anything. I just want to ask one off the wall question, but get a chance to watch the UConn women's game against Baylor the other night, and I was wondering what you thought, what you took away from the game.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I watched that one, and I hit Gino up right after. Obviously, great game, like incredibly physical game. I know how good Baylor is, and just how high level that game was. Obviously, Paige and Christy were incredible, incredible performances, but felt like a national championship type game. I know, obviously, how good, they have a tough game with Arizona, and how good, South Carolina is and Stanford, but that just a level for that to be an Elite Eight game, it felt kind of like a national championship game, even though, they obviously still a game away from getting to that point. But Tremendous game. And just incredibly physical game.